I am John Kidane, a local cabbie from Philly.
But you're not really from Philly.
Well,
Or I guess maybe you are. Tell
I,
me tell me
I,
where you grew up.
I am more. I think a lot of people ask me how long I've been here, and I ask them how old they are, and they tell me I'm 24, and I tell them, well, I'm sorry, I was here before you were born. So I've
So you
I've
are.
been here since the early 1980s. So I've been here close to 30 years.
And tell me where you grew up and what it was like there.
Well, I grew up in Asmara, Eritrea. It's a very beautiful city, founded by Italians in the late 1800, early 1900. Beautiful modern city.
And why did you end up leaving Eritrea?
Well, the history of Eritrea is a history of war for independence, and we were children when the independence war started. My brother and sister died in the war. The only way to escape the war was to leave Eritrea and go to a refugee camp in the Sudan. That's where everybody went as a refugee. It's a painful past memory. Refugees were processed from refugee camps, and I came in as a young Eritrean refugee to Philadelphia. This is where I got resettled. The agency that resettled me is the agency that I ended up working for.
The Nationality
Nationality
Center.
Service Center.
And I saw I was reading the transcript and it said that you were offered a choice of Philly, Canada, or Australia.
Yeah. They give you options where to resettle. So you don't have a final say, but at least you give them what your wishes are. Philadelphia was my choice. Philadelphia is an interesting city, a city of Joe Fraser, a city of a lot of African Americans. So I have an affinity with Africa and African Americans. So I chose Philadelphia as my city, and I ended up here. I'm still here. I'm part of the city.
So what do you consider yourself now? An Eritrean, an American, a Philadelphian, all of
Well,
them? I don't know.
well, people ask you where you're from, how you came in, and why you're driving taxi. The first suggestion they give you is, are you Indian? Are you Pakistani? Are you this? Are you that? Uh, Usually they want to know how easy it is to drive taxi and live. How do you make a living?
How hard is it to be a taxi driver? How do you make a living?
It is very hard because there are so many entities who control the cab business. There are medallion owners. Medallions are about $500,000 now. You have enforcement agencies who control, your work every day. It is computerized. It's GPS system. You have to manage how to deal with money, how to make enough money to pay your lease every day, to pay your gas every day, and then you have to start making money for yourself.
So why do you do it? It sounds like
Well,
taxi
I do
driving
it.
is pretty difficult.
Well, I I always create a mission in my life. I did it with refugees in the beginning. I worked for 20 years to resettle refugees as a director with Nationality Service Center. It's an agency affiliate of IRSA, which is a national office in Washington, D.C., that resettle refugees. So I worked very hard with them. I was in many boards, as you know, worked with Balch Institute for Ethnic Studies. We did a study on African communities. I think this is a community that deserves observation and support. The taxi driving community, I call them. They're all immigrants. They happen to be from Africa, from East Asia, and Americans, hardworking Americans. I think this is a community that I would like to see and see if we can resolve their main issues. One of the issues that I have with them is health issues, health insurance, and fairness. Fairness. They need a fair pay. Those are issues that I look into, and I'm trying to organize people to see if we can find ways to address those main issues of taxi drivers.